What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Wortman Physique live from the Legacy Fitness Club here for the Higher Purpose podcast alongside...
What's going on, everybody? Billy Floyd here, live on the Higher Purpose podcast. We just blew the stereo out the wazoo, but we are locked in. Bobo, we are doing it. Wordy, BP, we're all ganging up. How are we doing?
You guys asked, we listened. Finally, the gang is all together. You got me, Brandon, Billy, all in one room. Can this little 300 square foot studio handle the energy in here right now?
I'm ready for it, bro. This is the trench area. This is where you eat, sleep, breathe Legacy, do the damn podcast, invite BP up
wear
here,
the hats.
co-host, wear all the caps.
Absolutely.
BP, how you handling all the energy, bro?
We have Brandon speechless, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't even know what to say right now.
Absolutely speechless. So much energy here today. No, absolutely hyped to have Billy with us here, dude. This is for most people listening who know me, Billy, and Chris, Billy is one of my best friends forever. But we've been talking about since the beginning doing like a podcast together, bro. And it's been like, this is just like the dreams to reality. Like this is literally it right here. This is wild.
You know, last year at this time, I remember you and I, Petta, we were talking about everything we wanted to accomplish. We didn't have any steps yet towards like this big journey of being an entrepreneur, doing what we want to do, inspiring people, starting the own business, whatever it might be. And like to be here a year later, everything you talked about came true. Chris with the videos that he posted, he called his shot. It came true. We have Legacy Fitness. Like to be so tightly connected, even though our relationships, mine with you, Petta, and mine with you, Chris, completely different. I just couldn't be more grateful to be associated with you guys at this level because you guys, epitomize being locked in. You're the definition of staying locked. So to see you do what you do, Wordy, to see what you do, BP, to be on the Higher Purpose podcast, this is a dream to reality, my friends.
Absolutely.
We have a plan, and we're still gonna do it this way. We're still gonna talk about putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations and why we want to do that. But I almost wish we just change it to just being locked and what that means, and how we're locked all the time. And maybe we can touch on that afterwards. But
absolutely. Well, it's all a mindset, I think. Like everything is being locked, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, all a mindset.
We can even touch on being locked in right away because that will help you take those uncomfortable steps. Being locked in just means being present, being in the moment, knowing I'm in the right place at the right time all the time. You can't be at the gym thinking about maybe a date you're going on later, or you're supposed to go to the movies with your friends, or you have an assignment to do. You can't be doing that. You got to be locked in. Focus on the muscle and the mind. Focus on the workout itself, whatever it might be. If we're having this conversation, this weekend it's going to be crazy. We have a lot of good stuff going on. We have workouts tomorrow, yoga on Sunday. But all that matters is being locked in right here, deliver a great show for you guys, for the listeners, for myself. There's nowhere else to be. Why would I be thinking about something else when this is the only place I'm guaranteed to be at? Locked in.
I actually equate the term you're locked in my head is flow. Like when I'm locked in, I'm in a flow, and it's like nothing can go wrong. I'm unstoppable. I'm just in this moment. I'm whatever it might be, whether I'm on the treadmill. When I these past 5 days, I felt so locked in. Since we started this launch, damn, every task, everything I'm going after, whether it's creating some type of content or it's out there training, I'm in a flow. I'm locked. Literally unstoppable. It's a great feeling. I literally just got out of the bathroom and I said to Pat, I was like, wow, I feel amazing. I didn't realize I looked like this much of dog shit for feeling so great. But I'm locked. I'm in a flow. And the energy just keeps going. And I don't know where it comes from, but when I'm in these states,
unstoppable.
World better watched out.
Yeah.
No,
it's for real. It's like a mantra. It truly is a mantra. And every time you say you're locked in, it's like you're just like Billy said, you're focused right on what you're doing, the task at hand. Your vision is clear and everything is just you're firing on all cylinders. And Bill, you said it best. Billy's got for those of you watching, sweatshirt that says locked in. And it's funny because he said that before. It's you can't wear that sweatshirt and not be locked in. It's just a way to just continuously catch yourself whenever you may be like veering off track for a second. It's like, wait, yo, no, I'm wearing this fucking sweatshirt that says locked in. Like I have a sweatshirt that says positive vibes only. What kind of a fraud or an asshole are you if I'm walking around with positive vibes only and I'm just in the worst mood ever? Like, fuck that. Like, that's not how it should be. So, like, locked in, absolutely, it's a mantra, it's a mindset. And just another side note, this one time Billy was in the gym hitting jump rope, and he once in a while it's his mantra, and he'll just be like, locked, locked, locked. And some people will just be like, what the hell is going on? But it doesn't matter because he's in his own world, he's doing his thing, he's grinding, and he knows exactly what he's doing, and that's the most
for
important
you
part.
Legacy Fitness Club enthusiasts too. Billy is like my first guest every morning at the club here.
Locked.
So I'll be working out, and Billy walks in like clockwork, 6 a.m. every day. We don't even talk. We don't say hello. I just look across the room and I say, locked.
Locked.
That's all that needs to be said, though. That
Yep.
says a lot
Enough
more
said.
than
Exactly.
enough said right there. Locked.
Exactly.
And when you speak it too, I'm all about, and you guys too, speaking it into existence. If you're jumping rope, if you're lifting weights, whatever it might be, if you just say locked in, locked, like you're saying it, so you're forcing yourself to be in the moment. It all started, me and my boy Andrew Holmes, who worked out here a couple weeks ago.
Right.
We were just taking jump shots, and usually we're money, but our minds were a little off that day. I think we were both thinking about certain things, but we literally just kept feeding each other the ball, saying locked in, lock in, locked, every time we took a shot. And then we didn't miss because we're only focusing on basketball. Right now, all that matters, ball in the basket. Later on, we'll figure that out later. But right now, we're locked in. That's the mantra. You speak it, you wear it. You can't be false advertising, wearing this, doing some dumb shit, clowning around, talking negative, making fun of people. You got to be dialed in on your focus, whatever you're trying to do, present with conversations, fueling yourself, treating yourself right, being locked.
Being locked. All right, I'm hyped I brought that up, actually, because that's important. If you're around,
Perfect podcast.
Oh, so that's what locked
if
up
you're around
means.
us and you hear locked in, that's a taste of it.
Say it, put it into the universe. We'll get you a sweatshirt if you want it. Wristbands coming soon. We're all going to be tapped in. Wristbands coming soon. We got
That's
pink
like
and red. We got big ones coming.
Go.
Stay tuned for
Legacy
that. Be a
Fitness
part of
Club
Locked
wants
In.
to buy the first 50.
Yo, fuck
Locked.
the Live Strong
Locked.
bracelets. You thought
Yeah.
Live Strong went freaking global? Absolutely not. Locked in ones.
It's the life.
But all right, yo. So the main topic we want to talk about today was the importance of putting yourself in uncomfortable circumstances, and honestly, a little bit, I think, a piece from each of our journeys that, like Billy was alluding to earlier, was that we all, me, Chris, Billy, and I have had different journeys, but we've all had our own adventure and our own circumstances where we've had experience putting ourselves into uncomfortable situations, but have ultimately led to a ton of growth, a ton of success, and has brought us to where we are now. And so we really just want to share our experiences and just reach out and let all the listeners know that how important it is to do the uncomfortable things and how much of the growth that you're going to have in life is going to be because of a result of that. And I love Billy, if Billy would just start us off here with, Billy was a pioneer of podcasting, first and foremost. He had the Who's on the News podcast. He really was one of probably the first person, I think, in our circle or anyone I knew that had ever started a podcast. So he, off the bat, like, this man, like, has put himself out there, put himself in that uncomfortable position, and continues to do so every single day in order to grow and lead. And there's no better person to hear from than him on this topic for sure. So Billy, take it away, brother.
I appreciate that, bro. Very, very important here to focus on putting yourself in those uncomfortable situations. And I look back to right before I left college, went to Marist College. I was around my best friends all the time, always around my family too, during vacations and whatnot. And I hit a point towards the end of my senior year when I was about to embark on real life. Man, like, I love my friends. I love my family, but this is too comforting. This is too easy to, be around the same people, do the same things. We've been doing the same things for the past 4 or so years. I got to get the hell out of here. So how can I put myself in a position to win? Well, I wanted to be on television. I wanted to be a presence. I wanted to positively impact as many people as humanly possible. So for the first step, get the hell on TV. And I'm not going to get on TV in New York. It's the #1 TV market in the country. Albany too high as well. I had to find a place where I could go far, far away, not know a single soul, but somehow knowing all the right people were patiently waiting for me to arrive. And I was waiting my whole life to meet them. So put yourself in that uncomfortable position. Take the only TV job offer you could ever get. I got one offer, Casper, Wyoming, after over 200 applying to different places, nothing but Wyoming. Went to Wyoming, and that's when I was like, okay, I don't know anybody. I don't really know anything about the news. I don't really know how to read a teleprompter, but I'm going to figure this shit out because I know it's going to take all these uncertain moves to level up. So immediately, I'm meeting people in a community. Immediately, I'm reading a teleprompter, and I was in AIS reading from 7th to 8th grade, which is like special needs reading growing up.
Wow.
So I'm on the air, freaking out, learning how to be on TV. I'm meeting people, learning how to be a leader in the community. I have no credential. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just trusting my instincts, and I'm not asking people, hey, what should I do? Who should I reach out to? It's like, no, I'm going to reach out to this person. I'm going to talk to this person. I'm going to form this relationship. I'm going to say this on TV. I'm going to wear this on TV. And then once it starts to work, you're like, holy shit, this believing in yourself, bet on yourself type shit actually works. And that's how I was able to build my own empire in Wyoming that literally no one knows about besides me. But it's not about what they think. It's about what I know and what's going to help me set up everything I want to do in the future. But it starts with putting yourself in that place where you got to figure it the fuck out all on your own.
There's a lot to unpack there. But the first thing I want to say, Bill, is like from the point at Maris when you were talking about like just like being with your friends and you knew you had to get out and do something. What was like the feeling that you had that was kind of like gnawing at you that you were like, I need to do something different? Like how did you know that like that going to this different place and not being like with what was comfortable, how did you know that was what you had to do?
Well, I had an experience of living in New York City the summer before my junior year. And when you go to Marist College, or a lot of colleges in the, upstate area or so, the deal is like it's successful if you go to Marist College, fill in the blank college, and then if you want to be on television, if you want to be in business, finance, you're viewed as a success if you go to New York City. And I got a taste of that early on, and I realized this lifestyle isn't for me. Like, I want to be intimate. I want to be a part of a community. I don't want to be a part of some rambling, rustling, bumbling, stumbling atmosphere. I love New York City. I love that atmosphere for a visit, but that's not my cup of tea for a lifestyle. And I really knew that I just had to go somewhere else to pursue that. And I looked at the people I was around, and they just didn't see the world as I saw it. They didn't have the same dreams as I did. Their dreams took them to New York City, to those areas, to their hometown. That's them. But for me, it was just like, I need a change because I can't have it be the same all the time. I just ran this up for 4 years straight. It was great. But, like, it's just one of those gut instinct things. We talk about that all the time, Chris. Like, you can't even explain it. It's just like my gut is telling me, email every single freaking news station. Make every video you can and just send it out and just let the universe give you a place and go.
Now, how'd you get interested in getting on TV? What did you go to school for?
So I went to school for sports communication, but it all started back when I was literally 5 years old. Now, Brandon knows about my grandfather, Ernie Anastas. He's the most well-acclaimed television news anchor, arguably in history. He was in New York City for over 40 years.
Wow.
Everybody knows him. You look him up, he's 76 right now. He looks and feels and acts younger than all of us. It's insane.
Wow.
And when I was 5, I didn't know what he was at the time, but I would go with him to New York City. I would go with him to his area in Westchester, near the city where he lived. And especially in the city, when I'm 5, 6, 7. Everybody is going up to him. Everybody shaking his hand. He stops, treats you like you're the only person that could ever exist. Taking pictures, shaking hands, hugging, kissing, anything. He's doing whatever he wants. And I'm watching this guy like, how does he do this and no one else is like this? Like, who is this? And then as I got older, I'm like, wait, this is a guy who busted his ass to the top, only treats people with respect, and focuses on being a person first rather than I'm a television star, I'm an anchor, I'm a host. No title, no status. I'm a 5-star person. So I learned from him, like, I want to be like my papu so I can positively influence as many people as possible. Now, how am I going to do that? Well, professional sports was just out of the picture. Can't sing, can't dance, never acted. My dad, local news anchor, my papu, a news anchor. Just get on TV, because once you get on TV, the next steps will work itself out. Don't think crazy big picture. Have those manifestations going crazy in your head, but just think, what is this big step? And I had to take it, and it was all in on local TV. And then I got to do whatever I wanted, and we blew it out of the water.
Well, that even kind of almost takes me back to some of my purpose here, because I'm a very spiritual person, so I don't even look at, like, gym and fitness so much as, like, a calling for me as much as it was helping people.
Yes.
But I look at gym and fitness, Legacy Fitness Club, as almost my altar to preach. So for you, it was going out there, being on TV. This is your altar now to communicate with the world and spread on a grander scale. Where for me, I feel like it's the gym, it's Instagram, that's my altar to preach from. But at the end of the day, it's positivity. It's not necessarily being on the news.
Sure. It's get the attention however it is that you can, so that you can give the people what they actually need. For just even for example, Matt McConaughey, just like, he's not on top of my head because I just read his book when I was on vacation, but he talks about all the time, like, he cashed in on, like, rom-com movies because, like, he was, like, a good-looking dude, and he's just, like, they were easy for him. So he just, like, played to his strength because the rom-coms were easy for him. But once that got him, like, his stardom, then he was able to actually create the pieces that he wanted to, that he felt would impact the most people. So it's like, once you get the once you play to the strengths that interest you, or whatever, be the best at that, and get the attention and get notice from people, not in a reputation. Build a reputation, not in a vain sense, but so once people get their attention on you, then you can actually impact them the way that you thought in your head, whether it's helping them with overall health and wellness, helping inspire them, help motivate them, help send them a message. So it's like, if you want to do something, for example, like, I don't know, like, what the overarching goal is. I don't think he even knows, but, like, the bottom line is to positively impact and inspire however you can, and you take whatever the path is gonna be. Like, the path can fucking zigzag, go up and down. You have no idea exactly how to get there, but use your strengths as much as you can so that you'll be in a position where you can positively impact and inspire the most people. It's like, the means is not the end. Just being a trainer is a way. It's a vehicle, but the main thing is to be able to spread our message and help people with their overall health.
Quality of life.
Exactly.
Wow.
And you gotta figure out how you want to do it by, like I said, you chose the moment to be in, stay in that moment, lock in, and go crazy. For television, a lot of people think big picture. I want to be the biggest news anchor. I want to be a movie star. I want to be this. Now, that sounds great, but you're 22 years old out of college. You chose to take this small market television job in Casper, Wyoming. Stop thinking about that next city. Stop thinking about the big paycheck or the big ticket. Think about how you can do what you want to do here and be your best self. And like Matt McConaughey did the rom-coms. For me, it was morning news, where it's like, I got the face, the presence, the energy, the ability, the relentless effort to get the whole community on the damn show. So it's not about me. It's not about, look, I'm this TV guy. It's about, look, it's the community.
Is this not the garage? Yeah. Is this not Mark's garage?
I'm telling
exactly.
you.
It's 1,000,000%.
You have to start from those early trench days where maybe the people on Instagram or your network, they might see what you're doing and it's like, wow, that's super cool. But they don't get what kind of shit you're unlocking in your head through starting all the way down and building your way. But when you start there, you don't know what the next step is, and you're always just going to keep tapping into what's next, and you're never ready. You're never like ready for what's next, but boom, that person comes into your life, they're going to help your show out. Boom, that person comes in your life, you're going to fall in love. Boom, this person comes in your life, they're going to keep pushing you to limits you didn't know existed. You got to let the world give you all that good shit, but you can't get that good shit unless you're invested in getting those opportunities that are going to push you all the way to levels you didn't know you had.
I love that you said you're never actually ready, because that's been like a principle I've been adopting so much more and more, is that instead of planning and preparing forever to be ready for the situation, the thing is you're going to learn so much more from throwing yourself into the situation before you're ready, because you're going to adapt and adjust anyways as you're going on.
One quote that I've always lived by is jump and grow wings on the way down.
Exactly.
Literally, when you get an idea, an opportunity, I do not care. If Billy asked me to be on the news tomorrow with him, I'm not ready for that. Yeah. But I'm going to run my ass to Men's Warehouse and grab myself a shiny suit and jump on the news. Jump and grow wings on the way down. You're going to get better. You know, and if you can land on your feet, more power to you. But, like, you're not going to be able to, and this is, like, where growth takes place. Growth only takes place from getting uncomfortable, which is what we're here for today. Exactly. But you must get uncomfortable to grow and level up. And then you'll get comfortable in those uncomfortable areas. And then if you settle for that, life becomes stagnant. It's finding new ways to challenge yourself to grow even further. And that should be not only our goal right now as mid-20s entrepreneurial mindsets, but even when we're 50, constantly seeking growth, lifelong learners, lifelong making connections. That's how this life becomes limitless. The potential is endless at that point.
And a practical way I want to talk about when it comes to being uncomfortable, honestly, I feel like a really good practice is to legitimately think of the worst fucking possible scenario that could legitimately happen if you put yourself into an uncomfortable position. Write it out, think it through, and then think to yourself, how bad is that actually going to be? Like, if that conversation with someone, that text you don't want to send, that call, applying for that job, moving to that place, what is literally the worst thing that can happen to you? And if it's that bad at that place, like asking yourself, worst case scenario, how actually bad is that? And once you fail and fail again and fail again and fail again, you desensitize yourself, and it becomes easier because you're not building it bigger up in your head, because you've come out on top and you have survived the quote-unquote the worst circumstance of all time that you couldn't have imagined happened. So by overcoming adversity and obstacles, you actually take note of like how much courage you have, how much stronger you have, how much more resilient you have. And based on that evidence, you're building self-efficacy because it's evidence. And now the belief that Billy was talking about, the belief is amazing, but when you build evidence upon that belief, then you're fucking grooving. Absolutely, and then you're going to believe in bigger things because you keep providing yourself more evidence as to why you fucking can do this instead of why you can't and won't do this.
And you can't even get too caught up in your thoughts, too. It's like, you know what you're working towards, you know who you are, you know your swag, you know what you've built. So it's like, okay, here's the opportunity to talk to people live. I'm just going to freaking do it. Here's the opportunity to go in and win these people over. I'm just going to do it. If you go into it thinking like, let's hope this goes well, that's why I hate when people say like, oh, good luck with your show tonight. Good luck with your performance. Good luck with this meeting. It's like, I don't fucking need your luck. Like, I'm locked in. I'm so prepared for this. You don't even understand. Like, now I'm going to sit there thinking like, okay, like, I don't even need to hear that because I'm just ready. You have to just already believe like it already happened. Like, think about Michael Jordan. You think he ever went out into any game and was like, this is going to be a tough one. And I hope we get this dub. Like, going to be a big one. Let's see if we can get... No, it's like, I'm going to win this no matter what. And you know what? Sometimes you come up short. You lose. You look stupid. You embarrass... Whatever.
Yeah, he never...
Doesn't matter.
MJ never lost. He just ran out of time.
Yep.
That's all that happened.
Wow. That's a great
never
quote.
Lost. He just ran out of time. That was it. There's no fucking failures at all. Especially... Well, there's no failures when you learn. Then what was that? We talked about that before. There's no like actual failures. Like, as
Just
long
learning
as you're learning.
You either
Yeah.
win or you learn.
Yeah, exactly.
You win
exactly.
or you learn.
Exactly.
Even when you fail or lose, you still
I
come out
literally
on
just
top.
came from a meeting today where I said that. I was like, what's the worst case scenario? We learn for next time.
Exactly.
Nobody's gonna die.
Yeah.
No one's gonna like lose their life. No one's gonna
Right.
like your real ones are still gonna talk to you and love you. Your partners will still be there. Your body is not crumbled. Like you have the opportunity to wake up the next day and get shit done, whatever it might be. But if you just wait for a savior, wait for like an opportunity, no, you have to put yourself in that situation. If you can feel energy, go talk to that person. Get on the stage, record the episode, record yourself talking. Like you can't just wait for someone to be like, hey, why don't you work for us and do this? Hey, why don't you get this going? It's like you gotta create it.
Right.
And you gotta be ready for it, even though, like we said, you're not fucking ready. You've never done it before. How can you say you're ready? You've done everything you have to do leading up to this point. Now just take the step.
Right.
1,000,000%. And just like some of these examples, if you're not there yet, or you've been a creature of comfort like your entire life, like it could be like overwhelming. They're just different. They're different. Well, the thing is, it's like none of us. Obviously, we're not there yet, and the people that we looked up to haven't always been there. You have to start small.
Right.
Like you have to build up this by desensitizing yourself, putting yourself in uncomfortable spots, and that starts at a very small place. Like every single day, doing like a big thing. It's like do something like you're scared of every single day. Like do something you fear every single day. Maybe if it's fucking raining outside, instead of being like, can't go on the run today, you get your fucking running shoes on and go outside in the rain. Like get used to being uncomfortable. And like I remember one of our first episodes, this was in my head and I was really hitting it hard home. Because Goggins is always someone that puts himself in uncomfortable positions. Like, dogs have always been, and Billy knows, like, I've been attacked by, like, many dogs. But, like, I was running at the soccer field, and this woman and her dog, like, on the leash. No, the dog wasn't on the leash. They're running my way. Typically, I would have just fucking...
Wait, you're terrified of dogs?
I've gotten better with
I was going to say, we just had a
Never-
dog in
ne-
here. We just had a
Never
dog in the
fell in
call.
love with dogs.
I never
got to that level
fell
of
in
love.
love
All
with
right,
dogs.
well-
I've been attacked a handful of times, so I would always, like, avoid
Did
them.
Bernie attack you?
But so when I was at DiCaprio, the park, instead of like taking that fucking hard left and saying like, I'm not gonna deal with this shit, I went right fucking at them, just kept going. Like a dog came up to me, I pet it for a little bit, and I kept going. I was like, I'm fucking glad I did that because you just can't let your fears become bigger than they are. Like we often suffer more in imagination than reality, and that's the fucking truth. It's never as bad as you think it's going to be.
And that's honestly why I love exercise too, because I just feel like when we're exercising, whether it's lifting weights, going for long runs, like there's always this capacity of challenging ourselves and putting ourselves outside of our comfort zone, doing something that scares us. Maybe something you don't like barbell squatting, but you do it.
Yeah.
And that builds self-confidence, self-efficacy. I think having confidence in yourself is like one of the most important things when it comes to life. Like if you're one of those woe is me people and I don't know if I can do this. Like, no, like you literally have control over your own thoughts. I don't care who you are. And it sounds hard, but it's really as simple as believing in yourself and everything that you're capable of. And if you can grip that and just literally just believe that you're truly capable of anything, maybe you're a great freaking painter. I have people here painting in the gym and it's like they've never done this project before, but I keep hyping them up and reinforcing that they're great painters, which they are. And if they believe that, oh my, like, sorry.
Dude, there's just nothing.
It's just like, we have complete control over our mindsets, and it boggles me when people let it work against them rather than for them. And you can program your own thoughts and think anything that you want. And you can believe it. Believe it into existence.
And now we're at a level where, yeah, we're still working a ton on ourselves. I mean, crazy. Like, we are not even close mentally, physically, everywhere. We are working so hard to where we want to be, but we have a special, gift now that we can help other people believe. So just be kind and like say shit. Like, tell people they're doing great, because a lot of people don't want to put themselves in uncomfortable positions. Say a person does. and they do a solid job or they do a great job. They look good. They posted a good video. Their muscles are coming in, whatever. Like, if you see that, initially your first thought is like, wow, they look good. They're doing it. Say it. Tell them. Be like, yo, that video you posted, absolutely fire. Comment, share it, whatever. Tell them in person, yo, the gains are coming in. Say that. Tell them. And then that'll click for other people, and they'll be like, damn, like, I got to keep trying this stuff. And then they'll start unlocking new things. Then they'll be the person that's giving great words of congratulations to other people. You can pass on that chain effect. So, like, people like us who are constantly pushing ourselves, constantly doing shit, you see other people doing it, tell them. Be real. It's not weird to be complimentary. The amount of times people think I have, like, autism or shit, or, like, think I'm, like, socially awkward because, like, I'm just over complimentary. They're like, they look at me and they're like there was a couple people I'll, like, say some nice things to here, other places. They're looking at me like I'm this, like, three-headed monster. I'm like, listen, I can compliment you. It's not going to take away from my shine. Take it. You worked for it. Now let that fuel you to go harder. And then maybe you can think about passing that on to somebody else. So always support people who are trying to do things that look impossible. Putting on muscle, starting a podcast, starting a show, starting a business, starting a relationship, ending a relationship, whatever it might be. That chain reaction, more people will put themselves in those positions. And that's what we want. Build a community, build people up.
Wow, what a, like, it's so unfortunate, like, genuinely, that, like, people are just like, wow, what the fuck, why is this person complimenting me so much? Just, like, so not used to that.
Right.
That's, like, that's such a, like,
that shouldn't be reality.
Social norms are just, like, how I feel like, how the culture is brought up is so negative. It's always like, what's wrong with this photo, not what's right with it.
Exactly.
And I think that we're always, I think we look at the world in a different light. But I think a lot of people are constantly stuck on the negative. They're constantly stuck on what's wrong rather than what's right. And I know firsthand, just from the compliments that you give to people at the gym, we've been hanging out a lot more. It's rubbing off on me. Your ways, I'll go up to someone and be like, oh, I really like your shirt today.
Yes.
Oh, I really... And it's, like, becoming more natural. I'm not thinking about it. I'm just doing it because, and here's a whole nother can of worms, but the people you surround yourself with, the lines, the people in your life, they affect you. They influence you. I've been spending a lot more time with Brandon, with Billy, and I feel like I said earlier, I'm locked in. I'm in a flow. I'm leveling up in life just by the people I'm around. That's a whole different story, but true.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I can relate that to, me being on the news, and I'm sure you guys can have your own spin on this in your life, but when I started on the news, I was the morning news anchor, 22 years old, out of college, never read a teleprompter, never been on live TV before. And on the show, I did the morning show with a girl named Stefanich. She was 3 years older than me, and a gentleman named Sam, 3 years older than me. Both of them were the reigning anchor of the year in the state and meteorologist, weather person in the state. So here I am, this young kid, working with, like, the two top dogs in the state at what they do. Holy pressure. Like, I'm stumbling on words. I'm trying to find a news voice. And here's the veterans who are, like, ripping it, crushing it, dominating. But it's like, I put myself here. I put myself in a position where I'm around people that intimidate me, also welcome me, have that good energy, but make me want to just be a monster and figure this shit out. So relentlessly, I'm around them, showing up every day, getting better, watching them, trying new things, fucking up, looking stupid. Next year, I won News Anchor of the Year after learning and watching and believing that I could do it. But how could I have done that if I walked into a situation with two clown asses who are fucking around the whole time? How am I going to do that with my same group?
You raise your standards.
All the way up.
You raise your standards to the top. We have, like, this, just too many different routes here, but you can, the people that you spend your time with, the places that you go, the things that you do, like, raise your standards of life and hang around people that are going to inspire you to be better. And that's what you did there. Like, their standard was so high that you had to raise your level of performance to meet them, if not be better than them. And if you're hanging around lousy people, whether, like, I never want to be the strongest in the room. I never want to be the richest in the room. I never want to be the most successful in the room because that's
Find a new room.
You find a new room because there's got to be something. I got actually invited. This was about a year ago now. I got invited to a dinner, and a bunch of business owners were there, and one of the wives came up to me after and goes, you're really quiet. And I said, oh. I was like, I don't really think I'm very quiet. I was like, I'm observant because everyone around me is breathing, speaking intelligence, wisdom, and all I'm doing is like a sponge. I am absorbing every word of that.
Love that.
And so I didn't speak too much at that dinner. I didn't really feel like I had a place for it, but I absorbed every word that was said, and now if I get into a room with those same people, we're almost all on the same playing field. But at the time, who was I? So
I like that.
And now I constantly find myself. I just went, like I said, to the Super Bowl party the other weekend, and it was like, wow, Jack Dawson from the poor class or whatever on the ship getting called up to first class, and it's like now I'm exposed to an even greater playing field, and it's like it just feels right, and I love it. And same thing, quiet. You meet the people, you make the impression, you take in what they're saying. And in the back of my mind, I know that one day I'm going to be hosting the same type of gatherings.
Yep.
And going to even bigger ones than that.
Absolutely.
So.
And I think it speaks so much as to what Billy said and Chris as well. Surrounding yourself with those that are better than you and observing and learning what they're doing, what works for them, what doesn't, but never losing sight of yourself and being true to yourself. The reason Billy won Anchor was not because he did exactly what Stefanich did. He went his entirely own fucking route and believed in himself and what felt right for him. So it's learning what works for others, what hasn't, trial and error, but not fucking copying anyone. Like, we don't have to be different for the sake of being different. We can just be ourselves.
Right.
If you're just yourself, that's different enough.
Right.
And you, like, what is that quote? It's like, don't be someone else. Like, everyone's already taken. Like, be your fucking self. Go all in on yourself and that's the way to do it. Learn from others, but do what works best for you.
Right.
And I think that's super powerful. And another thing I wanted to transition a little bit when it comes to being uncomfortable, because I know Billy can touch on this, and Chris, I'm sure you can as well. But I think something that a lot of people struggle with when it comes to being uncomfortable is being by yourself initially. And I think a lot of people who are introverted, maybe they're like, oh, I love being by myself, this or that. But when I'm talking about being by yourself, I'm talking about really being by yourself, where you're not constantly distracting yourself with your social media or Netflix or movies or just like bullshit or video games. I'm talking about whether you're living on your own or just like you are by yourself and you are really listening to your own inner voice so that so everything is so much clearer. Like, I think so many people are constantly trying to distract themselves all the time because they're very scared. They're very scared to face their own inner voice because your own inner voice is not going to shut the fuck up. It's going to keep telling you, like, you can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing this. You got to do this. You got to do this. And people try and shut that up by drugs, alcohol, video games, distractions. And by listening to that own inner voice, things become fucking clear. And at first it's uncomfortable, and then you start to learn to love it. And then when you learn to love your own company, that's when things are like, boom, like, let's fucking go. And I know you can talk about that, so if you want to jump into that.
That was the most flawless, spiel of this podcast yet. It's so key to really be a beast at being alone. And it's hard to because you're raised of like, hey, have a friend group. Do you have a girlfriend yet? Do you have a boyfriend yet? You getting married? Are you on the team? Are you a part of a frat, a sorority? Like, it's pushed. You need a friend group. You need friends. Go out crazy. And that's awesome. That's how you gain your energy. That's how you build relationships, for sure. But after moving to Wyoming, I had lived with a roommate all throughout college, lived at home, growing up. It was the first time I was all by myself. So when I got back from work or got back from the gym, it's just you. Literally nobody else. And you have all these demons trying to like mess you up, for sure.
Yeah.
But if you just stay positive and you're like, fuck that, let's focus on like how we can be great. Let's focus on good thoughts. Let's focus on what's happening right now that we like. And that will just help you go in depth on things that you want to do. So you have to figure out how to be alone, because when those voices are telling you shit, a freaking movie or a show, it's not going to help you live in that reality. You got to live in this reality. And then when you're alone, you're like, I want to go do this. You get up and you go do it. Whatever happens, happens. And you're grateful that you did that. But when you're with friends, when you're always trying to go hang out with people, most friend groups obviously are talking about bullshit too.
Right.
You have all these thoughts of like, I want to start this podcast. I want to start lifting weights. I want to start making music, whatever it is. If you're by yourself, you get so damn bored of doing nothing, you're going to go do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're just always hanging with friends at every second, always with a girlfriend or boyfriend that doesn't help you grow, you're just going to be consuming yourself in all these activities that don't help you. Bullshit. But there's also a great length of like, you need those people in your life when it's time. But you got to love the hell out of yourself. Like, it's a shame that people hate on self-love too. Like a lot of people, I was talking to this one waitress the other day, just talking about like, you know, this one guy that works there calls himself Ali the Greatest. The owner of this restaurant calls himself Ali the Greatest. And I was telling this waitress, you got the best boss ever. Because he tells people he's the greatest and he has it on his shirt and he is loved by everybody. Look at this guy. He's a beast. Look up to him. When are you going to start calling yourself, whatever your name is, the greatest? She's like, I don't know if I can do that. I said, why can't you do that? And she's like, because like, I just don't want to come off that way to other people. I said, why are you going to tailor your life to other people when you can just go in and be that way? Like,
say that.
If you're going to tailor your life to please other people, like, I mean, you're a winner when you choose yourself. So what's the opposite of a winner? You're a loser. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but you're a loser if you're going to refrain from being a beast because you don't want to be that standout savage to everybody else because they're going to think you're crazy, but crazy is the ultimate compliment. Call yourself the greatest. Say it that you're going to get it done. Don't be talking about all the shit you're doing. That's when you look like an arrogant asshole. Did you see what I did? Did you see who I met? Did you see who I got on my show? Did you see what I lifted? No, nobody gives a fuck. Let your work do the talking. But when people talk to you about it, be like, yeah, I fucking beasted that shit. I went out with the microphone, I killed that shit. And you can't do anything about it because I just did it. And people will be like, whoa, that's different. But that's from you believing and doing it and failing so many times and looking stupid so many times that you don't even give a shit if people think, like, this dude's weird. Because, like, I know I am, but, like, that's me, one-on-one type shit.
2%.
That's 2%. Fuck the 98%. But we'll help you if you ever need help. That's the thing with those 98%ers. I'm not going to chase you down. I'm not going to talk shit about you. I'm not going to involve you in my life. But if you ever need anything, you can come and we're going to help. You can talk. But a lot of people have that big ego. Big ego where they want to pursue something, right? But they know to do that, they might have to take a big step back. You know, I know a lot of people in the news industry who might want to start their own platform, start their own deal. But, like, they're not willing to quit their job and look like, you know, a quitter. There's a difference between quitting and not quitting. Quitting is when you give something a shot and you try it briefly, and then you're just like, okay, I can't do it, I'm quitting. That's quitting. But when you've been in the same relationship for a long time, same job for a long time, doing the same thing for a long time, and you realize, I got to be done with this, that's not quitting. That's just having the maturity to step away, take a big step back. Who cares what anyone thinks? You know you're setting yourself up. That's how it rolls.
1,000,000%. I couldn't have said that better myself. And that's just another great point. Like, so many people are paralyzed and stay where they are because they don't want to seem like a quitter, or they're just, again, living their life that's like, oh, what are, like, my coworkers going to think? What are my family going to think if I don't have a job and I have to go move back home and live like this and that? Literally fucking living the life that is expected of you and not fucking true to yourself. And you know damn well when you leave that fucking job or whatever, They're going to replace your ass in a heartbeat
Right.
and not fucking think twice about it. And it's like...
It's a comfortability thing, too.
Yeah.
People want to be comfortable.
People want to be certain. People,
Certain.
that's what it is. People crave...
Yeah.
Certain.
Like, they crave certainty, but, like, they'll rather be miserable and certain.
Right.
Than like happy and uncertain. People fucking can't stand uncertainty. And the problem is people don't think that what's uncertain can be better than what's already happened previously. So people try to recreate things that were great in the past instead of believing and trusting and having faith in creating an even better fucking future just because it's uncertain. So that's a fucking huge problem. Is move toward the uncertainty. Move toward the uncomfortable.
Yep.
These are mantras, fucking things. Tattoo it on yourself. Put it in the back of your head. Put up quotes, affirmations, walls. Remind yourself always and create a habit of it every single time. Move toward the uncertainty. Move toward the uncomfortable. That's where the fucking growth is on the other side. And that's when you're going to find yourself flourishing, thriving, and it's going to compound. And then you're going to be like, oh, fuck. What's happening, and you're glowing. Then everyone else is going to notice you're fucking glowing, and it just keeps riding.
And then you reach that flow state.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you can get through to that other side where you do find that rhythm and flow, then it's just a beautiful thing. And then it's energies that are attracted. Mm-hmm. There's so many different dynamics that I'm seeing from like all over psychology, like different playing fields that come together that are individual topics on their own, but when they come together in harmony, that's when magic happens. Mm-hmm. And learning these things, you have, like, the cool thing is that all of these tools are out there for you. They're in podcasts, they're in books, everything moving towards uncertainty. You can pick up a podcast right here about it. Mm-hmm. Getting uncomfortable, like, expose yourself to all of these resources because there's resources everywhere and most of them are free. Mm-hmm. So take time, and this is why I always tell people, like, I tell you all the time, like, I have an appointment with myself. Mm-hmm. Like, I still need to learn and grow. Always be learning and growing. And that's something that you can do on your drive, like with your drive times, on your runs. Mm-hmm. Always strive to continue to learn, because the more that you can learn these concepts and look up to people that have done things and overcome, that's when you can take your life to a whole new level.
And what I want to add on to that is I've been trying to do this part, so always learning and growing, but always reminding myself too of what has already fucking worked. What has worked for me in the past that maybe I veered away from because I've been trying to absorb so much more information. Well, what's the information that I already know, I already have access to, and I can already account on, or I can always trust that was what worked in the first place. And so it's constantly reminding yourself over and over, rereading books that fucking helped you initially, or huge breakthroughs for you, re-listening to the same podcast and continuing to implement and find ways to never as we continue to learn and grow, don't just like put off the things to the side that already have been proven to work.
And this is why I'm saying too, like, there's no excuses, because the resources, the tools to greatness are out there and they're at your disposal every day. They're sitting in Barnes and Nobles, they're sitting on our phones, Audible, podcasts, everything, YouTube, you guys see every morning I'm listening to YouTube motivational speeches, and I re-listen to the same ones with the same principles over and over and over and over again. Courage, working hard. Stupid basic principles that aren't stupid, but basic principles. Oh, you hear it all the time. Work hard. Okay, well, submerge yourself in it. Yeah. What does hard work mean? What is it? What do the greats define hard work? Mm-hmm. Not, I studied for my test for like 2 hours last night. Like, no, like, did you like relentlessly submerge yourself into the work?
Did you sacrifice some fucking weekends?
Yeah, did you sacrifice a Saturday night? Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow. Have you ever not slept for 72 hours? Like, that's the type of hustle and grind. Like, have you put yourself in that situation yet? Yeah. And I believe that every single human on this earth, every single one of you, every viewer, every listener, everyone that comes into this gym, everyone that is out there walking around, you've all been gifted in some way, shape, or form. You've been gifted with an ability to maybe help others artistically. Some way, shape, or form you've been gifted, and you do have the ability to live that gift out and to preach it on a bigger scale, to do tremendous work. But until you, and no one's going to come and hand that opportunity to you, until you can learn to get uncomfortable and to challenge yourself, to grow, to fulfill that inner voice, you're never going to achieve it. So listen to that inner voice, believe in your gifts, believe in yourself. And I believe like that's something that we touched on all those topics today, but bringing it full circle here. Believe in yourself, believe in those gifts and abilities and talents, and spread your message to the world. Be confident about it. And that's how you can truly live the life that you were born to live. Please don't leave this earth leaving your gift unfulfilled. That's a disjustice to not only you, but to me, because your gift means something to me, just like my gift means something to you. So please share your gifts with the world.
And yeah, I think that Billy can actually wrap it up the best with work or wonder. If you like, you can either put yourself in uncomfortable positions and work. If you want to explain work or wonder,
yeah, it's like you can either work towards making your dreams a reality, or you could wonder what could have been. Exactly. Wow, 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 yep. Work or wonder. I know so many people who have a job, who have a situation, and I know that they have this gift. They can draw, they can sing, they can coach, they can teach, whatever it might be. But they don't believe that it can be them. Like when, say you look at Drake, you look at LeBron, you look at your idols. A lot of people think like, well, that's just how it is. Like that's just who they are. They were born a star, and like I'm gonna like just go crazy with them and just honor them and clap for them this whole time because they are famous. They are born celebrities. It's like, nope. They started out as a little kid and figured out at some point, I don't care what anybody thinks, I'm just going to do it. And with that attitude, they did it. But if you're this talented, calligraphy drawer and you're working some shit job and you tell me, I don't think I can open up my own, calligraphy page or calligraphy studio because like, I just don't know if I'll make it. It's like, well, yeah, you're not going to make it because you don't believe. But if you went all in on that and maybe stop talking to some friends that told you not to do it, stop working around coworkers that just want to talk shit about the Yankee game last night, how shitty the weather is, how bad the traffic was, how their coffee spilled. It's a whole battle of who had it worse? What this happened to me? Well, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. Yeah. Well, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. Yeah. Fuck all those people. Get away. Your friends, get away from them. Your real ones will stick to you, and you'll inspire all the right people. A lot of people want to people please. You focus on pleasing yourself, pleasing your dreams, doing whatever it takes to turn that into a reality. And all the right people that you don't even know are going to come to you. All the right people will stay. All the other right people will come back. You just can't be upset thinking like, I'm going to lose this relationship. I'm going to lose this setting. It's gone forever. No. You take away what sucks. You figure out what works. And you believe. Because just imagine, this would never happen to either of us. Like, this is just the worst thought ever. But just picture being 50 or 60 and thinking back when I was 22, 23, 24, I was sexy as fuck. I could do anything I wanted. I could own any room. I was on fleek. I had all the swagger. But I didn't fulfill my destiny because I was too afraid what other people who are little bitches thought about me. That would be the worst situation to ever exist in the history of humanity. But reality is, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. So that's why we got to stay focused on what we want to do. So then when people ask us, hey, how did you do it? Well, I just literally did what I wanted to do. You can take some points from me, but do what you want to do and make your dreams a goddamn reality. Because if not, you're going to have that jaded resentment for everybody who's higher than you, everybody in your life, and you're going to be miserable, and it's going to suck. That's going to suck. You're going to rush into all the wrong things instead of actually focusing on the trench work and everything you needed to do to make that shit happen. Wow. Work towards making your dreams a reality or wonder what could have been. I want you to wow me. I want to say, wow. I don't want you to be a little bitch, so I'm like, wow. You know what I mean?
No, that's it. I never thought about it that way.
Wow. I would think about this. You You like making people laugh. You like making people feel good, right? You love that. But there is nothing, and I mean nothing, better than when you don't talk about something, you don't tease it, you don't give anybody whatever, you just do something, and everyone's like, wow. Like, what?
Yeah.
He did that? He looks like that? He got that opportunity? He made that money? Wow. When you make people feel that, that's like touching everything. That's not giving them a little sugar high laugh, which is great. This is like long-term impact. And then they're like, I want someone to feel how I feel after seeing this. So I'm going to make my dream a reality. Wow. Get people to really feel it.
Yeah. That was fucking awesome. And I want to say, Chris, like, give everyone the old takeaways to wrap it up. Like, between your wrap up and Billy's fucking wrap up, I thought that was spot on and came full circle with everything.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think we could go on and on forever too, especially this trio. Luckily, we have the pleasure of doing this every single morning together, and I'm very thankful. Thank you guys for the time today for this podcast. Really special one for all of us, I think. And I think if you're like a listener at home, I hope that you're feeling and walking away, leaving this inspired, ready to take some action, ready to get uncomfortable, ready to put yourself into challenging circumstances, and you're looking to build that self-confidence, self-efficacy. Get curious too. Like, what can I do next? How could I make myself uncomfortable?
Ask yourself, what if? What if this fucking
Right.
worked out? What if I lived the
And
life?
what if it didn't?
Okay. And
what if I didn't do it?
Yeah.
What's
exactly.
the worst case scenario if
Exactly.
everything does fail?
No,
So
okay.
I'm always thinking like worst case, best case, and the worst case is never as bad as bad as it seems.
Never as
So
bad.
get out there,
As bad.
take risks. Do not waste your gift. You're gifted. You were born to be something better than what you're doing now. Trust me on that. So
And listeners, let Brandon and let Chris just be prime examples. When you come to Legacy Fitness, you are actively seeing two gentlemen doing whatever it takes to make their shit come to life. They don't care where they're at. They don't care what you think. All they want to do is be there for you and be there for themselves. So ask these guys questions. Ask me any question you ever could ask. I'm telling you, darkest of dark, brightest of bright.
Right.
Ask it. Find out. Be a student. Always be a student. We like that. Ask the questions
and
if you don't know.
we're here to help.
Always here at
We're
Legacy.
here to help too. Like I swear to God, I have at least one or two times a day do I have a deep conversation with someone right out there,
Nice.
and it's like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I know when they're not just tire kicking. When they have a genuine question, I'll deliver a genuine ass response to that. I know might change their life forever. So we're here for people. That's what this place is all about. That's what Legacy is all about. Anything else for anyone?
Locked in.
Locked in at Legacy, baby.
Locked in at Legacy, baby. Booyah!
Episode 16. We're out, and we will catch you next week. Higher Purpose Podcast.
Higher Purpose
Locked.
Podcast.